Good morning, Nigeria. It's Wednesday, this September, the 10th day in the month of September 2025. And you're watching Daybreak live right here on Dominion Television. I am Pat Aito.
And I'm Oluwayemi Adelakun. Thank you for waking up with us. You know how we do. Breaking down politics, policy, and the pulse of the people to kickstart your day.
Well, we'll begin this morning with a story shaking the National Assembly. After 6 long months, the Senate has told Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan one blunt message: you remain suspended.
And this isn't just about one senator, it's about the mandate of the people she represents, the power of the legislature, and the fine line between discipline and political silencing.
And now, beyond the Senate drama, we have a packed morning ahead of you, the Daybreak News, newspaper headlines and analysis, and later our big story.
That one promises to be a fiery conversation: car spraying ban, culture versus law, a clash between tradition and regulation, with insight from senior editor and columnist Sam Nwoko.
And of course, we will round things off with Trend Watch, scanning the issues that have Nigerians talking online and offline.
So stay with us. It's a full morning of facts, analyses, and conversations that matter. This is Daybreak Live.
This is Daybreak Live.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning, Pat.
Good to have you here.
Same here. So we are looking at Natasha's case this morning. The Senate is saying you remain suspended. Honestly, I don't know. On this program, actually, I was talking to one analyst that Natasha coming back is not going to be very easy. Looking at the kind of drama that we've seen over the past 6 months, honestly, what do you make of that?
Well, to me, she saying that, okay, suspension has been over and she should not expect the Senate to just recall her back to the Senate, to the floor. Because there are lots of drama, like you said earlier, that has happened. And the drama of, okay, you've been asked not to talk until the case is being heard in the court, or at least the judgment has been given from the court of law. But she went ahead to talk, to grant an interview. And that's caused a lot of chaos. And people were like, oh, there are so many people, and we have these activists behind her, yes, Yusufu, Aisha Yusufu, behind her, like, yes, as a woman, women in politics must stand, and there's no need for any clampdown. Well, it's okay. But now, 6 months down the lane, the people you represent, how do you feed them? Or what will be your, what will be the dividends of democracy given to them for like 6 months that you've been suspended? That's, by the way. What, these people that were behind you, where are they now? The apology they ask you to tender, have you done that? Majority carries the vote. So if things like these have not been, or things she has been asked to do have not been done, she will not return to that Senate. And do not forget that this case is still in court.
Yeah. So
for Senate to just talk, and there was this judgment that was given to both of them: do not talk until we give our judgment. That's for the Senate and for Natasha. But Natasha went ahead to like grant an interview, like I said earlier, and the Senate are just waiting for, okay, let the court decide, then we will know what next. That's exactly what is playing out. So for her to return to the Senate, it's under maybe next year. And not this year.
Okay, I think you're very spot on. And sometimes, it's a little bit tasking to even defend some of the things, that has to do with that. Because just like you said, in July, the Federal High Court in Abuja ruled that, okay, your suspension, is excessive, is unconstitutional. And then in view of that, she thinks that the Senate should say, okay, you can come back. But then Akpabio, which is the major person in this case, did a cross appeal to that, court ruling to say that, we have every right to suspend any member, that is not, doing what he or she is supposed to do. And on that note, the court ruled that Natasha should do some things like pay fine, do a public apology in 2 major newspapers. I don't think she has done all of those. And of course, that same July, Natasha went to the Senate House and she was stopped from entering. She went with the likes of Aisha, like you mentioned, and then they were saying, we are going to die with Natasha. Let them kill all of us. The same thing happened recently. She was not allowed to enter, not looking at the fact that she wrote to the clerk to say, okay, I'm coming back to resume my duties. So So both parties now, I don't think at this time they should continue this. Okay, even before the court will do the final ruling, can they have the heart-to-heart talk outside of the court now? Because I think this case is majorly not about the courts now.
It's about
there are personal issues that must be resolved. That's the way I'm saying this matter. Because the judge came out to say recently that, okay, if the Senate will not allow you to come back, can you file a fresh case? That will not solve the problem. Filing a fresh case will still not solve the problem. He also mentioned that, okay, Natasha, you said you have a very solid evidence against Akpabio. This is the best time to release that evidence so that you can win in the court of, people's opinion. But then I'm not sure she's going to do that. So I think she knows what to do so that she can come back, but then it's not going to be easy. And there's one thing about suspension in this country. Once they suspend someone, it will only take the grace of God for the person to come back. Look at what is happening in Rivers State now with Fubara now. Some people are pushing for extension of that suspension, so that Ibas, who has been running the state, can finish up all the projects that he embarked on, which is not supposed to be. Under the Constitution, normally, it's not supposed to be suspended because the president did not give him that mandate. He came to power through the mandate of the people.
Well, there's another side to the story.
Okay.
I feel like PDP are just coming to say that that's a way to clamp down women in politics.
Okay.
That you try as much as possible to just make sure that you frustrate them if they do not dance to your tune. Like you said, she has an evidence. Bring it out.
This is the best time to bring it out.
This is the best time for you to bring it out. Don't let some Nigerians have been talking about it that she does not even have anything. She just wants to be relevant.
Maybe she's waiting for the best time to release that evidence.
Which best time? See, for everything that has been happening with Natasha, it has always been one drama to the other. See, you are a woman, one of the women in the House of the Senate.
Yeah.
Why don't you just calm down? Have you ever seen any of the women, any of them that come to like, okay, we'll stand solidly by you?
None of them is supporting her.
None of them is supporting
about 4
her.
of them. None of them is supporting her.
So why don't you just sit down, think about another way you can resolve this issue? Not because of anything, but because of the people you represent there.
Definitely. Because upwards and now, there are some bills that she ought to have passed, in favor of those people. So everything that she's doing now, is affecting her definitely, but it's affecting the people she's representing as well.
You always know that they will always tell you, we can't go to courts. We can't go to courts now
and come back and
be friends.
Smile.
No, it's not going to happen. This is it. If that is what you would do, not because just swallow your pride. Just swallow your pride, swallow your ego, and do the necessary.
Do you know that Akpabio, did something wrong at some point while he was a senator, but then the issue was resolved amicably. Without all of this drama, this theatrics. But then when it comes to this particular issue, I don't know, just like I said, I think there are personal issues that must be resolved, apart from the old,
you coming out to let us know
you won't allow me to speak because I'm not following some rules and regulations. So if they want to settle this matter in 24 hours, I think they can do that outside of the court.
That talk is just childish. Because
outside of the court.
You don't want to do something and that's why the person is not allowing you to talk. There's some people there. You follow the procedure.
And I also think our supporters online and offline should also talk to her as well, even our lawyer.
How many of them? How many of them have you seen now? How many of them?
Even Aisha that was okay. Aisha is still talking.
Aisha is still talking. Very soon you will say Aisha.
Aisha will not talking. I don't think.
I'm not saying. See, PDP opposition party should not see it as a way to just erase or pass, take or reduce the role of women in politics. No, they shouldn't see it that way. It's a different issue. Because somebody said, oh, that was what happened in the 10th Assembly when we have Patricia Olubumiete. That case is quite different.
Yeah, I think it's a different case. And people are not looking at the fact that...
They are not. They are just looking at, okay, this gender is being attacked and that is why we don't have women in politics and some of them are scared of... No.
It's about the law.
It's about the law. Follow the procedure.
And if
when you follow the procedure, then if anything happens, if anything comes out, you will see people that will side you. You will see people that will take your side.
If she has released that evidence before now,
yes,
I'm very sure she would have gained more support on this matter and people will begin to look at it. Even Sarah that is talking to say, okay, Senate, please let her come back. I'm sure they too, they are still looking at some issues that these things are not clear to us.
Let's see
let's see the evidence.
Let's see this evidence.
Maybe that evidence will make you resume the next day. Who knows? So these are the issues that we have in our hands, and I do hope that Natasha can come back.
And I don't want people to see it like, oh, this is how they play their policies, because we have APC at the top and APC at the, as a Senate president, and that's why this issue is coming out to Natasha being
or maybe they are trying to punish her for something.
PDP. No, let's do the right thing.
And it's not good for us outside of Nigeria as well, because, I mean, younger ones, just like you said, that are interested in politics, this might deter them to say, I want to join politics, looking at what is going on. So I think it's a fine place to leave it this morning. Thank you for being a part of this segment. We do hope that the next time that we talk about Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, she must have, resumed her duties as a senator. I mean, I'm being optimistic about that. Thank you for being a part of the segment. We need to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll take the weather reports. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
All right, I welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us. It's time to turn to weather report for this morning. Let's start from Abeokuta, Ogun this morning. Weather feels like 24 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, around 16% in the afternoon, 30 degrees Celsius, showers around 53%, and in the evening, 25 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, around 8%. Overnight, 24 degrees Celsius, cloudy, around 24%. That's what we have for Ogun this morning.
And over now to Kano, and Kano is having this one. This morning, it will be 26 degrees Celsius, and of course, it will be mostly cloudy, around 21%. And in the afternoon, it will be 29 degrees Celsius, as it's going to be mostly cloudy as well, and that is around 24%. And in the evening, it will be 25 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy. That's 14%, and overnight it will be 23 degrees Celsius, also partly cloudy, around 24%.
Well, let's cross over to Abuja, Federal Capital Territory, where this morning feels like 25 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, around 16%. In the afternoon, 28 degrees Celsius, scattered thunderstorms, around 50%. And in the evening, 24 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, around 24 degrees. And of course, overnight, 23 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, around 24%. That's what we have this morning for Abuja.
Well, let's travel down to Kaduna this morning. It will be 25 degrees Celsius, and of course it will be cloudy and around 10%. And in the afternoon, it will be 28 degrees Celsius, and of course thunderstorms is expected, around 64%. And in the evening, it will be 23 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, and that will be around 21%. And overnight, it will be 22 degrees Celsius. Showers is expected, and that is of 36%.
Well, let's cross over to Ilorin, Kwara. This morning, weather feels like 26 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 11%. Afternoon, 30 degrees Celsius, cloudy around 22%. And of course, in the evening, 25 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 22%. Overnight, 23 degrees Celsius, cloudy around 14%. That's what we have for Kwara this morning.
And now to Ibadan, home of hospitality. And this morning it's going to be cloudy, and that will be 26 degrees Celsius. And of course, in the afternoon, it will be 29 degrees Celsius, and showers is expected, and that is around 51%. And in the evening, it will be 25 degrees Celsius. Few showers is expected as well, and that is of 31%. And overnight, it will be 23 degrees Celsius. Showers is expected as well. So what you need this morning, you need to, if you're going out, you need to get your umbrella handy.
Well, let's drive down to Ekiti this morning. Weather feels like 25 degrees Celsius, cloudy, 6%. In the afternoon, 28 degrees Celsius, cloudy, around 23%. And in the evening, 23 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, around 15%. Overnight, 22 degrees Celsius, showers around 36%. Though 36%, do well to prepare for that. Don't gamble. Carry your umbrella if you're heading out this morning.
All right, from Ekiti, we travel down to Oshogbo, in Osun State. And this morning, it will be 26 degrees Celsius. And of course, it will be cloudy, and that is 11%. And in the afternoon, it will be 29 degrees Celsius, and it will be cloudy as well. And that is 22%. In the evening, 24 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, is expected around 12%. And overnight, 23 degrees Celsius, cloudy, is expected around 24%.
Well, let's take Lagos this morning. Lagos State weather feels like 27 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 17%. Afternoon, 28 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 13%. And in the evening, 26 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 8%. And overnight, 26 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 21%. That's what we have for Lagos this morning.
And lastly, on weather report this morning, we head straight to Port Harcourt. And Port Harcourt this morning, 25 degrees Celsius. And of course, it will be mostly cloudy, and that is around 70%. And in the afternoon, it will be 26 degrees Celsius. And of course, thunderstorms is expected around 64%. And in the evening, it will be 22 degrees Celsius, cloudy as well, and of course it will be 16%. And overnight, 21 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy, around 18%.
But this is where we take another short break, and then when we come back, we'll take Daybreak News. Do well to stay with us, and of course, follow us on all our social media platforms on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Dominion Broadcast, and of course on X at Dominion Cast. Drop your comment, and then be assured that we're going to read them on the show. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Good morning. This is Daybreak News on Dominion Television. I am Oluwayemi Adelaku. The federal government has released the authentic and approved subject offerings for Nigeria's newly revised basic and senior secondary school education curriculum, warning stakeholders against fake versions in circulation. In the press release, the Nigerian Educational Research and Development Council called on all critical stakeholders to disregard any other fake and unauthentic list that is at variance with the authentic and approved list provided. Meanwhile, the federal government disclosed that the reforms undertaken by the Federal Ministry of Education under its National Education Sector Reform Initiatives are designed to reduce overload and ensure positive learning outcomes for pupils across the country. The Council assured that the reforms will ensure relevance, flexibility and skill acquisition from the earliest stages of learning in the country. The First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has called for collective effort to protect education and safeguard schools across the country, describing it as essential to securing Nigeria's future. The First Lady made this call in a message commemorating the 2025 International Day to Protect Education from Attack, where she claimed that Nigeria must move beyond rhetoric and take bold, decisive steps to ensure the safety of learners, teachers and educational institutions nationwide. She added with emphasis that education must never be compromised, warning that a society that failed to protect its schools risks undermining its own future. Customs Controller Wale Adenuga has officially assumed duty as the new Customs Area Controller of the Semi-Area Command of the Nigeria Customs Service, as disclosed in a statement released by the command spokesperson, CSC Isa Sulaiman. Adenuga in his address stated that trade facilitation will become priority, assuring that stakeholders' consignment will leave customs control within the shortest possible time in order to have more revenue, reduce smuggling. He also assured that the command will strengthen collaboration with sister agencies, including the DSS, Nigeria Police Immigration, NDLEA, Nigeria Military and NAFDAC, to curb crime and enhance a business-friendly environment. Former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo has renewed his long-standing call for the adoption of a single African currency, warning that the continent's over-reliance on the US dollar continues to weaken local economies and undermine Africa's development agenda. Obasanjo linked the continent's economic challenges to historical injustice, including slavery, colonialism, and what he described as the destructive effect of globalization. According to him, the underlying external forces were never designed in Africa's favor and would continue to keep the continent dependent. He then urged African leaders to take decisive steps towards integration, drawing lessons from the continent's success in fighting apartheid and establishing the African Continental Free Trade Area. Residents of the Omikule area in Yemetu, Ibadan are curious about the diesel contamination found in a residential well, which made them flock to the site, eager to understand what may have caused the unusual situation. Meanwhile, security personnel have condoned off the area to prevent any untoward incident, and the well is sealed pending further investigation. Our correspondent, Grace Aino, has more details in this report.
Compound in Yemetu area of Ibadan has turned into a site of intrigue as curious residents gather after the unexpected discovery of diesel in a well. Many locals are captivated by the situation, with some seemingly optimistic about the potential implications. The source of the contamination remains a mystery, not only to the community, but also to the authorities. The area is currently sealed off, with security personnel stationed there while investigations continue. Residents in the area expressed their astonishment over the situation, which was discovered just a few days ago.
Just come by pepper here. They have to tell me, say, and put oil for this way. I can't say, no, me say, oil they put you. Maybe say, the oil just come inside the well. Make the big key come. I just bring the key. I just open it. As they open, they put this thing to carry it. The packet carry its cup. It just beats this way. Everybody just say, this way, no this way.
The police in their reports suggest that the fuel may have leaked from an underground storage tank. Meanwhile, officials from the Ministry of Environment have taken samples of the substance and are continuing their investigation. A major area of suspicion is a mast located beside the house, which may have been the source of the leakage. However, representatives from the Ministry of Environment have declined to comment, stating that they will not provide information until the facts are confirmed. I know Grace, Dominion News.
The Oyo State Police Command says it has recovered a car stolen from an e-hailing driver during an armed robbery in Ibadan, according to the command's spokesperson, Sifeso Adewale, following an anti-robbery operation. According to the statement, the recovery was part of an ongoing effort to tackle rising attacks on ride-hailing drivers in the state, where the command explained that the matter was escalated from the Yagoku Divisional Police Headquarters to the State Criminal Investigation Department for thorough investigation. The Commissioner of Police Oyo State described the recovery as proof of the command's commitment to public safety, while urging members of the public to report suspicious activities, assuring that it remained focused on safeguarding residents and visitors. Away from Oyo State, an army officer abducted in Bomadi local government area of Delta State, Major Josiah, has been rescued by villagers from the deep forest of Tomo community. The officer was reportedly kidnapped by armed youth who stormed his lodge and whisked him away to the creeks of Barutu local government area. Community sources said he was later found in the forest where the kidnappers abandoned their vehicle tied inside a canoe with gunshot wounds on his leg and hand. The community subsequently alerted the military joint task force, which moved him to safety. Commuters in Enugu State are left stranded as a sudden fuel scarcity gripped the state capital, forcing many petrol stations to shut down. Motorists were unable to access premium motor spirit and were left idling on major roads, while some turned to black market vendors, charging up to 1,500 naira per litre. Although the federal government had intervened through the Minister of Labour, Employment and Productivity, Muhammad Dinyadi, the meeting ended in stalemate as Dangote's representatives rejected some of the demands. However, the Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, condemned Dangote's approach and vowed to continue until its demands were met. From reports, a petrol station manager in Enugu disclosed that both major marketers and Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, APMAN stations, have joined the strike in solidarity with NUPENG to force Dangote to comply. In business, Meanwhile, a spokesman for Nigeria's Dangote refinery, Anthony Chidena, has confirmed that the country would not see a petrol shortage despite an ongoing strike by union representing fuel tanker drivers. The strike has since drawn support from other unions in Nigeria and abroad, even as the refinery, the largest in Africa, is hiring its own drivers to deliver gasoline to retailers. The refinery spokesman, Anthony Chidena, confirmed that there is no fuel shortage and that talks were continuing between the union, the government and the company. And in sport, this morning, Nigeria's Super Eagles were headed to a 1-1 draw by South Africa's Bafana Bafana at the Free State Stadium in Bloemfontein, leaving both sides with a point in their World Cup qualifying encounter. The match started with South Africa pressing early, looking to capitalize on home advantage. South Africa started with an early press and broke the deadlock in the 24th minute with a grand cross by Nkota, which forced captain Tross Ekong to concede an own goal. Despite trailing, Nigeria pushed forward and found a dramatic but controversial equalizer just before the break. However, the equalizer was not enough to favor the Super Eagles' qualification. You can visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng to watch us live and interact with us. You can also follow us across our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast and X at Dominion Cast. And that's the break news. I am Oluwayemi Adelakun saying thank you for watching and good morning.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us. This is Newspaper Headlines Analysis, and my name is Oluwayemi Adelako. This morning, let's start from Platform Times, and I have this headline that says, "Dialogue not weakness, elders defend talks with bandit." That headline asks us riders, say even powerful nations negotiated with insurgent, blame some governors for ordering intelligence report. Don't forget that, a few days ago, the governor of a certain state in this country, said that, if we can give him 2 months, he can end all this talks about insecurity, banditry and the likes. And then a lot of people have come out to say that, why do we need to pay bandit? Why do we need to negotiate with these terrorists? Why can't we just, find a way, to put an end to all of the activities? And then recently, the former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, said that, while he was governor, he never paid any bandit or maybe bandit or terrorists at all. And of course, some persons, the likes of Bayo Onanuga, came out to say that, okay, Nasir El-Rufai, while you were governor, you actually, paid, some of this bandit. And he came out to say that, okay, that is different, from what, Bayo Onanuga, is trying to say. While he was governor, there was an attack, after 2011, when some Fulani herdsmen were going through, Kaduna, and then some southern Kaduna attacked them, and then there was a counter-attack on that, and that was what happened, and then a lot of persons, died from that incident. And then at the end of the day, what it did was to actually, give out some money to the families of those who lost their loved ones, and that is totally different from paying bandit. And so this is the question now. Over time, some governors have been accused of, paying bandits, paying terrorists, and then these are the issues that we have, and this has not in any way resolved all these, issues about insecurity. So it's high time we begin to look at, other areas by which we can reduce, insecurity. And of course, if negotiation can come in, and it can be done in a more strategic way, rather than giving so much credence to these people in the country. Away from that headline, let's also check this one that says federal government rules out immediate implementation of 5% fuel tax. Over time, I think a few days ago, almost like a week now, we read a story that talks about the fact that come 2026 January, a new 5% and a fuel tax, will come to play. And Nigerians are lamenting, looking at the fact that, the first subsidy was removed in 2023, and of course, the price of petrol has gone up because of that. And the federal government has defended it, quite a number of times to say that, because we have removed subsidy, we've been able to make enough money that we have, pumped into other sectors of the country, and Nigerians are not seeing the effect of that. And now a 5% tax. I think this is coming from the federal government, definitely because of the complaints of Nigerians to say it is not going to happen immediately. Whether it happens immediately or not, can Nigeria, can they bear this? Do they have what it takes to actually, adapt to this, 5% tax on fuel? We'll talk about that with my analyst very, shortly. Away from that headline, let's cross over to Salient Times. And this morning, I have this headline that says, Dangote Nupeng reach agreement, suspend strike. Honestly, this case of Dangote and Nupeng, some persons are saying it's like Nupeng is doing too much about this matter. Dangote can decide whether it wants to allow the workers to actually join the union or not. And a very popular energy expert, Emmanuel, came out recently to say that Nupeng has breached that trade act that brought it to play, to say that workers must join the union whether they like it or not. The workers have every right to say we don't want to join, and of course they can join through their own will. It should not be a by force thing. They can decide to join and not join. However, let's celebrate the fact that this strike has been called off, and of course they've been able to reach an agreement. But if care is not taken, this matter might come up just soon enough. Dangote is trying so much to ease the pains of Nigerians, and then Nupeng is not seeing it that way. Maybe they can come to a conclusion, or maybe have a heart-to-heart talk apart from the one they had with the federal government. Because the report I have on that meeting that was held with the federal government in the early hours of yesterday through the night was that a lot of things did not go well, and a lot of things were not agreed upon, though they were able to resolve it. And of course the strike has been called off. I think there's still some background issues that must be looked into, so that going forward we are not going to have this kind of threat again to say that we want to go on strike because Dangote will not allow his workers to actually join Nupeng and the likes. Away from that line, Let's also check this one that says National Assembly bars Natasha Putti from resuming, says suspension still subject of litigation. I think it's a strong one, and I recall just recently I was speaking to someone and I said that, Natasha coming back is going to take a lot. I mean, looking at the tragedies, going on across the country on that matter. And of course, what the court has said, what the Senate is saying, what Apabio is saying, there was a cross appeal. Okay, if you don't do this and that, you're not going to come back. Okay, you cannot come back yet. I mean, the case is still in court. Will Natasha file a fresh case? Can Natasha release that evidence that she said, she has? These are the issues. I do hope that, soon enough, this will be resolved in time so that she can represent our people well. From that headline, let's also check this one that says Tinubu's bold economic reforms aim to correct structural weaknesses. That's coming from the Vice President, Kashim Shettima. A lot has been going on over time. I think the President, whenever he's out of the country, without who investors or represent the country in a conference or anything, you always talk about the economy, and then he said that to an extent he's been able to stabilize the economy. And that was what led to the issue of Sowore. Let me link Sowore's case to this headline because just recently Sowore made a tweet to say that, how can the president say that he's been able to curb corruption? How can he say, he's been able to reduce issues around, okay, the economy is not doing well, the economy is not doing well. Now, why will he say that? I mean, outside of the country where Nigerians are still battling with a lot. These are the issues. And of course, I think Bayo Ononuga, private, charted this man to say that, Sowore, you have to delete that tweet that you made because the president was not talking about the economy in general. It was referring to the fact that he's been able to curb corruption, in the foreign sector, foreign exchange and the likes. The fact that you don't need to go to the CBN governor, to trade and foreign exchange and the like. So that was what the president was talking about. And now Shettima is coming out to say Tinubu's bold economic reforms aim to correct structural weaknesses. Yes, the president is doing a lot. He's put a lot of things in place, but Nigerians, still want more result because, this is not touching a lot of Nigerians, well, in terms of, easing their pains, making life, more comfortable for them, drop. Yes, we are seeing, a reduction in price of goods and services. And that's very commendable. But can we go beyond this? Can we reduce the price of fuel? Because the major reason why this was removed in the first place is to make sure that people can actually buy at a very reasonable price. And of course, we can have a good economy at the end of that. Because I tell you, if the price of fuel can reduce, definitely, Nigerians will begin to feel the impact more. I hope that the federal government and of course, every other person associated, with this can begin to look at that area of reducing the price of petrol. Okay, it's time to take a short break now, and of course, turn to my analyst to help me make sense of some of the top stories that we have this morning. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us this morning. And of course, I have my analyst with me in person of Victor Akelain, a public affairs analyst and of course an entrepreneur. Welcome on board, Victor.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Right, let's start from this headline that says dialogue not weakness, elders defend talks with bandits. Say even powerful nations negotiated with insurgent, blame some governors for urging intelligence report. Honestly, talking about insecurity in the country, I'm not sure whether you saw videos and pictures last weekend about, the bloody weekend, and the killings in Borno, in Edo State. It was a gory sight. And of course, a lot of Nigerians are saying, can we actually start paying more attention to insecurity? As a country, should we negotiate with bandits, with terrorists, really?
As a country, no. But when it's becoming an everyday thing, then we need to sit them down and talk. What do they want?
Really?
Yeah.
Would that not give them more power to say, okay, they want to talk
the
to
government
us?
will come in not in form of negotiation, but in form of a settlement. Okay, now guys, what is the problem? Is it unemployment? Is it that is it unemployment? If it is unemployment, we'll give you a job. Is it empowerment? Do you need empowerment? Okay, we'll empower you guys, and you will not go back to banditry. If you do, then your generation will rot in jail. So it's not a negotiation per se, but it is the call to discussion. Like, let's talk. What is the problem? What do you want? But then, if it now persists, then we could now take a more fierce action. But should the nation negotiate with terrorists? No. But can they call them to dialogue? Yes. Yes.
So what's now the difference between dialogue and negotiation?
Negotiation is when you are negotiating, you are transacting.
Okay.
Dialogue is what do you want? What is your problem?
Okay.
Are you not being fed well? Our tribe is not being attended to. Our geographical, our geopolitical zone is not well represented. Okay, or is not representing well, or is not getting the better quota that it should get. Okay, so what do we do? All right, okay, so we'll give your geopolitical zone a university, so you stop all your madness. Okay, we'll empower your entire community, so you will stop this thing. But if you do it again, you will go to jail. Your entire family, your tribe, all of you will do something first. So yeah, we can.
These people don't listen to threats. They, as a matter of fact, they are very good in reeling out threats. To communities, to state. They don't listen to threats.
Yes, and that is a very good place to handicap them, because they won't listen. Then you give them what will you how do I explain this? Because you know you won't listen, they won't listen. Have it at the back of your mind that they may not listen, fine. But give them something that at the end of the day, government will not be blamed. So when we go to court or when we discuss it anywhere else, government would say, but we give you this. We gave you this rather, but we gave you this. We said we will give you this, and we did it. So why are you still doing this? So government will win eventually.
All right, let's talk about ransom now. Should politicians, governors, pay ransom in order to get some people out of the custody of bandits?
It's just emotions. I won't blame any governor that did that. It's just emotion, because you are the governor of the land. You won't want your people to suffer. So it's just an act of emotion, a soft act, like my people can't suffer. Let me pay this ransom so that this person suffering will not suffer again. So it's an emotion-based action. However, it is not right.
All right, there's this writer that says, blame some governors for ordering intelligence report. Of all the governors that we have across the country, do you think there's any governor that is trying to urge, some, information? Because recently, Dauda Lawal, the governor of Zamfara State, came out to say that, if they give him that chance, it can end insecurity in 2 months. Are these not people who can help us solve this matter? So why would, some persons feel like, okay, some governors are trying to hoard this information to themselves?
So sometimes I feel being proactive is better than talking. If you can do something, show us evidences. What's your track record? What have you done in the past that can make us build that trust that you can do it in this?
He's been doing great work in Zamfara. The local vigilantes have been able to boss some areas in Zamfara, apart from even the soldiers and all other security operatives, really.
Locally, yes, that's a good profile, but nationally,
does it make for what we need, really?
How sure are we? Then again, well, maybe government, maybe federal government should, of course, give people like them chances to show what they can do, empower them, give them materials that they would need, and let's see if they can do like they said. However, don't forget that some of these banditry, I would always say, some of them are political.
All right, I think it's a fine place to leave that matter. Let's talk about Nupenga now. The strike has been suspended, really. Don't you see this as, okay, this might actually come up again? Don't you think Nupenga is trying to ask for too much? Because a certain, energy expert, Kelvin, came on national TV to say that, Nupeng, is violating the trade acts that brought it, to the fore, to the play. And of course, by trying to force some people to join the union. So it is within their constitutional right to say, I want to join, I don't want to join. So why should Dangote suffer for that, really?
So, I was going to say something. I think they have later agreed that it is a voluntary decision now. But earlier, before that time, I think I agree with Kelvin. Yes, I saw that and I completely agreed with him. Okay. But then instead of enforcing people to join you, I think you should paint your benefits to people. All right? When you paint your benefit, when you make your benefits open to people, then people would have no reason not to join. So really, Nupeng, what benefit have they for those who join them? The actual sense of it. So that is enough to be said.
Okay. So you are saying now that, okay, now that the strike has been suspended, don't you see it as, okay, this might come up again?
It will come up again. I'm still saying the PENG has nothing to offer for its workers.
But they're trying to make life better for the people.
Have we seen life better? Have we seen the life betterment since when they've been saying it? Many of these associations is just carrying the placard of association, just to put people under them, and when one of them wants to do wedding, they contribute some money and give to the person's child that wants to do wedding. Any other betterment after that? Has there been any empowerment? Has there been any social SDG development or SDG project that such organization has done back to society? Let's just stop deceiving ourselves. It's just another way of embezzling money and just misappropriating funds, I believe.
Okay, still talking about fuel, petroleum, let's link this to this 5% tax. I have this headline that says, federal government rules out immediate implementation of 5% fuel tax. Whether it's going to be immediate or maybe in the next 1 year or in the next 6 months, can Nigerians afford this at this time?
So when I make a proper digging on that news, on that information, I realize that what the Minister for Petroleum, said, and also supervising the economy, forgotten his name, but what he said was that the 5% surcharge was going to be used for road constructions. I'm going somewhere. He said we have about 200,000 roads in Nigeria, and only 60,000 of them is good. So we have 140 roads in Nigeria that are bad. Okay. So if this 5% surcharge is basically for this purpose, believe me, I don't think it is bad. Okay. However, the federal government of Nigeria have done things that are questionable. So if they promise us this, is it bankable? Can we believe their promise that the truth be told? Can we trust them enough that that 5% surcharge would go to that purpose they said it is for? Then number two thing is, would there be an accountability? You get it? Would there be an accountability on that will show us that indeed this money has been going to this purpose? If not, then they shouldn't implement it. But if yes, they should. I believe they should. Let me say that again. If the 5% surcharge, like they said, is going for that purpose, and that purpose would be met jealously, then yes, they can. But if not, they shouldn't.
Speaking about trust, when subsidy was removed in 2023, the president, tried to say that, okay, the money that we can generate from that, will be, pumped into other sectors to actually make things better for Nigerians. How well did that play out? I think that's an area to look at whether we can trust, the government on this one. We can't trust
federal government for two reasons. One, the federal government still, to me, I always say this, they still look to me as though they still don't have a clue of what the Nigerian problem is. A set of clueless people who are just ambitious, who just want to get the power and go to the office and realize that, oh, this thing is bigger than we thought. So how do we go? You just wanted to swim. You don't know how deep the pool is, and then you got into the water, into the pool, then you now start shouting for what's this thing? What's this tube?
Okay.
Swimming tube. You get what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to cite an example.
Okay.
You just wanted to swim. You don't know how deep the pool is. Then you got into the pool, you now realize that it is deep. You are now shouting for, please, can I get a swimming
You're complaining
tube?
of cold.
How you get that kind of thing. So that's number one. Then number one, they are clueless. Number two, they are just unnecessarily wicked and they just want to embezzle funds.
But they've been borrowing money to help the ministry.
Keep borrowing money, keep borrowing money. I said this thing sometimes ago. I said, this guy gave a 22-man football team $100,000 plus the crew. So 22-man football team, apart from the crew, say let's say 30-something, and you give them all $100,000.
I think the crew got lesser than that.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
22 of them got $100,000 each, meaning if you put that together, that's 4.5 billion naira. You hear me? 4.5 billion naira, and that was less than 2 months ago. And after 2 months thereabout, the president is going to get 3 trillion from CBN. Now tell me, is the government looking like they have financial prudence to you? Do they look like they have financial knowledge to you?
Dino Melai recently, I don't know if you've watched the interview, he said if care is not taken, the federal government might need to turn to some, I don't want to mention banks now because this is TV, I don't want to mention those banks. He said the federal government might turn to those banks to borrow money, so that we can finance or maybe, tackle some of the things in the country, really. And then don't forget, recently, the president himself came out to say that we are done with, borrowing locally. He's been able to stabilize the economy. What you make of that?
That is... See, people, the government would always say things. Of course, there has to be something that will come out of the government, whether correct or incorrect, so that we can feed on, so that those that are not elites will have something to hold on to and believe. And then the elite can always talk like, oh, guy, you are not doing anything. These are obviously not true. Even if they sound true, they are not. What's this perfect word now? It is not true. It is not business true. It is not economically true. Or it is not economically correct. We can see. So you said you are not going to borrow money locally again because there's no bank that will borrow federal government money. That's the truth. Will federal government pay it back? So now you are going to the World Bank to get 3 trillion plus. And of course, World Bank would give you that money because whether you like it or not, they will get the money back, whether through crude oil, through whatever means.
Can we begin to cut costs? Because I also read the reports that said initially the budget of the National Assembly used to be around 150 billion naira. Now it has gone up to around 370 billion naira. Don't forget, just recently, the president also bought a presidential yacht that has not left the perimeter. Some persons are saying it's between Monaco and Paris. What do you make of all of these expenses?
Okay, so we've over decades, we've been talking about cutting costs. Look at this now. The NAS, the National Assembly, the number didn't increase, but the cost of sustenance, maintenance increased. So why?
Maybe inflation.
That's one. So what caused inflation? Government inabilities, bad governance. Bad governance is causing inflation. Bad economy is causing inflation. So if government can really cut, okay, like I always say to people, sometimes when you say that you are making less, then it's either you expand your income, really,
okay,
or you cut costs. Now, there are some costs that you can't cut. So what do? You expand your income as an individual. You expand your income. Now, in government now, same method. There are some costs that may not be able to be cut down. Why? Maybe for inflation, maybe for advancement, maybe for civilization. Some things may not really be cut down. But then can we begin to look into further ways of broadening the economy? The government of the day does not have the knowledge to broaden the economy. That's the problem we have here. They don't. If you know how to broaden an economy, then you will know that I can look into local things, make them better, and make money from there, other than going to borrow money. I was saying to someone this yesterday night when they said federal government needs money, about this 5% charge. Okay. Federal government needs to, the purpose for the 5% surcharge on petroleum is to create roads, and then they share it 60-40 from the money. Okay. They shared 60-40, federal government takes 60%, every state government takes 40%. My question is, can you come and ask Governor Seyi Makinde how he's been constructing roads across Oyo State without
they have been increased, the revenue have been increased. Some up, even Oyo State, for instance, was increased up to like 500%.
I know.
Compared to what they used to take before.
what I'm saying exactly is this. If you need 5% surcharge to make good roads,
Okay.
how is Seyi Makinde constructing roads without taking any surcharge from anywhere?
This is the question. It depends
Simple
on
expansion of economy.
Yeah.
I was reading some days ago when they said Oyo State is, Ibadan particularly, is one of the cities in sub-Saharan Africa that is growing at a very fast pace. What's that? Economic advancement, bringing in expatriates, bringing in more businesses, and the economy of the city is blooming, is growing. I think that is what the federal government should think, other than going to borrow money. She is not borrowing money, yet the economy is growing. I'm not a fan of
Speaking about borrowing, I don't know whether
we
you heard about the secret money that was borrowed. I mean, a certain member of the House came out to say about 300 billion naira was borrowed, and then the House was in recess, but then he came out to talk about it, that why should that happen when the federal government have increased the inflow for every state.
Who borrowed the money? You mean the Oyo State government?
Yes, I don't know whether you didn't hear about that story.
That.
Okay, there was a particular story. A member of the House came out to say that a certain amount of money was borrowed secretly.
I think so. I think I heard it. But has he paid it? Is it affecting the economy? Is it affecting federal government? Is it affecting civil servants? Are they not getting their monthly salary at the proper time? Even pensioners are enjoying. Market people are saying, hey, well, thank you, Seyi. When Seyi pays salary by 25th, thereabout, people go to the market to buy stuffs. The economy is growing. Market women are happy. Salary earners are enjoying. So what do we make of that? So if the loan was borrowed secretly for a good purpose, let's leave it secret, provided it will pay and it's not affecting anybody.
Well, it's no longer a secret now; it's out in the public.
Whatever, but he's paying it and it's affecting nobody. It's affecting nobody. So leave the young man alone. Let him enjoy himself. Let's talk about federal government that is borrowing money and we can't see what they are borrowing the money for, and then you are wasting money in several things. Yachts, 100,000 doses for people, I said it that day. I said there's nothing we give to these ladies that is bad. However, it's a stupid idea to exhaust such money.
I'm not sure they've received the money, honestly, because I don't know whether you saw the interview. Let's not call it audio money. I don't know whether you watched the interview of I think the captain of the team came out recently to say that they've not even received the money yet. Rashidat Ajibade, I think that's her name. So let's not even talk about that $100.
You can't trust anything.
I'm not sure they've received that money, honestly. So. Okay, away from that story, let's really talk about Natasha. This issue has been on for quite a number of months now. She was suspended, and of course, by now, she had to be preparing to go back to the house to continue her duties. The Senate is saying you remain suspended. What should make of that? Because don't forget, in July, the Federal High Court ruled that this suspension is excessive, unconstitutional, and of course the judge said some things about Natasha, to pay a fine, make a public apology, some certain newspapers in the country, and then the Senate, through Akpabio, did a cross appeal to say that we have every right to suspend Natasha, and if certain things are not resolved, she cannot come back. So the Senate now is saying, regardless of whether the court ruled this or that, the case is still in court. You cannot resume your duties. This is affecting our constituency. What you make
the court gave us 6 months. 6 months is over. What's stopping her? Now they went to the Senate. Senate said you can't resume duty for whatever reason, whatever reason. It is political. It's that simple. Everything they want Natasha to do, she has done it. And write an article to apologize. She did. Go on Facebook that you first made a statement to go back there and say she did. I didn't even believe that Natasha would begin to do all those things they asked her to do.
Speaking of the apology, some persons or even Akpabio and the Senate, they said the apology is more like a satire. It's not really an apology.
What do they want from the woman? That's what the thing is. So it is political. Did you hear what the secretary of PDP already was saying? Really agitating fiercely that that this thing is becoming too much. It's either you do not want this woman back in there, or you just want to downplay democracy in this nation, and then you have us to contend with. And then if it gets there, then I'm afraid will the Senate be able to manage that? Because what we are seeing now, according to the man, among several other claims, he said is becoming a party thing. Becoming a party thing, and if that is the case, then he has a lot of answers to give. So really it's becoming too much, and I don't know what exactly Akpabio in person wants from Natasha. If you ask me really, if Natasha was my mother, I would just say, Mom, can you just resign? Just leave this.
Don't forget that we don't have enough women in politics in Nigeria.
Then again, look, considering women in politics, this is why we keep saying we should empower women to do politics. But then, we that we are saying we should empower women to do politics, we are doing the otherwise. It's quite. I don't want to get emotional on this because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. There is no, like you said, there's no constitution that she was given 6 months. All right, her 6 months has lapsed. She ought to have resumed. She's supposed to resume with them when the recess finishes. This September 28th. She's supposed to resume with them. She said she can't resume. Why? There hasn't been any. Court said she can't resume. Court said she has only 6 months.
Okay, I think the issue now is court is saying, okay, this is excessive, but the Senate is saying, okay, we have a case in court as well, because there was a cross appeal. Akpabio did a cross appeal of what the court said. And so Akpabio is saying we have every right, to make her not resume until we resolve the case in court. The idea came out to say recently that, maybe Natasha can file a fresh case, and this will solve it. That evidence, she says she had, she can bring it to the fore, and of course that might help her in any way. You don't see that happening.
Then why we are fighting that the national issues that should be discussed in the Senate, we have to be suspended because we are resolving a case from 2 senators. I feel it's just, what's even the presidency? No, what's even the president saying about this? I know sometimes it doesn't concern the president, but on this national matter, I think he should say something. I think the president should say something because it's becoming an eyesore. It doesn't make sense anymore.
All right, let's take another headline. I have this one on the Punch that says, doctors to decide on nationwide strike today. NATSNEC meets to review government response to demands. And then, Tinubu restate commitment to health sector transformation, vows to end hospitals' power crisis with hybrid solutions. A lot of hospitals and their officials recently have complained about power. Even there was a time that, Popular UC had issues with power and the likes, and it affected a lot of things. We are going to go on strike. We won't go on strike. We are no longer going on strike. What do you make of this about, the doctors? Don't you think, it's high time, they have like a serious conversation with the federal government and of course, make all of their grievances known to the federal government? So, because it really affects the people. Let's not wait for them to go on this strike that they've been, talking about over time. This is not the first time. This is not the third time that I will read an headline, on the dailies that will say that we want to go on strike or we are going to go on strike. Really? I
think, in my opinion, why doctors haven't gone on strike is because they are considering the people. If we go on strike, people's health is at stake. That's why they are reconsidering. But government is not giving them audience. I've said it before that until you take matters seriously with Nigerian federal government or with Nigerian government, they don't get to see the seriousness of it. It's painful to say that I think the doctors should go on strike. It's just painful to say.
Victor, I read a report recently that a particular doctor slumped and died because he was working, he worked for 24 hours. No rest.
No rest. In my opinion, it's hard to say, but I think the doctors should go on strike. So here's the thing. When they go on strike, the national health sector is being threatened. There may be government will sit up. Number one, when they say high UCH shut down, Lutz shut down, state hospital shut down, and then they leave sick people in the hospital and they go home. And these people were having high death rate. I think governments will step in then. So honestly, if you ask me, I think the doctors have been emotional enough. They have been human enough. I think that this time they should be fierce. They should just go on strike so that governments will sit up.
All right, so let's look at this headline. Though we've talked about something similar before this morning, it says Northern elders urge governors to negotiate with bandits. Do you think that at this point in time, we have the resources? Because when it comes to negotiating, money will come in definitely. These people will definitely ask for some money. You see, okay, if you want us to stop, then we need some money. Even some of them that that were caught over time, you find them with millions of nairas in cash. Where are they getting this
and expensive ammunitions?
Definitely. The ones that cannot even be compared to the ones that our soldiers and our police carry, really.
We've said it earlier. You keep negotiating till, like I said, some of these things are political. They are political. So negotiating with bandits, and yeah.
This is the northern, northern forum, not even the entire country now.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you look at the cases of insecurity, I think the northerners are having it, really bad. We are seeing cases across, Edo and Osun, but then when it comes to Kaduna, Borno is intense over there.
I said it earlier. Dialogue with them. What do they want? That if it is not political. That if it is not backed by people, cabals in power already. But if they are just individuals that are looking for something, looking for money, looking for whatever they need, just call them to dialogue. What do you want? Can we strike this? Can we strike that? Will you stop this? Will you stop this? And they will give you this. Okay. Number one. Number two, let's fortify the security of those areas. Let's fortify at least in the southwest we have Amotekun, southwest, whatever. Maybe we can do that too in that geopolitical zone. Fortify this thing. Night security, day security. I remember a story that Peter Hodley said when I was reading something about him. Okay. He said when they heard that there was stealing, there was all these social menace in the society. What did he do? He said he didn't employ external hands. He went to the boys and hired them as vigilantes and paid them well. As at then, when what's his name? What did I call his name now?
Peter
Odili. When he was governor, he said he was paying them 60,000 naira. Then, ordinary guy that has no school certs, that has no primary school certificate, was paying him 60,000 naira. Then, street boy, thieves, rogues, thugs. These are the people that he hired and made them vigilante. Yoruba will say, it is the thief that will catch the thief. So he employed them and paid them well and told them, if there's anything called stealing, insecurity, pickpocketing in this community, I'll come for you guys. Number one, I'll carry your family. Number two, I will stop the salary I'm giving you. And it worked. It worked. So give these people something of such. There are governors that have done well in the past that you can still borrow their knowledge. Yes. Hire them and make them national consultants if there's anything like that. And then tap into what has worked for them in the past. And let's use it again, other than negotiating with them. When you keep dancing to their tune, they will come back reinforced. We ordered for 100 million the last time. This time we will carry more people and order for 250 million. They will give us. Emotionally, they will give us because they don't want their people to suffer. When you see women protesting to the secretariat, to the state secretariat, almost half naked, saying, "Bring back my daughter. My daughter has been abducted." All right, the governor will feel emotional, and then we go and do what? We go and negotiate with the bandits. We go and negotiate with the terrorists so that they can bring back the daughter of that woman. Maybe that is their only daughter. So all these negotiations are just based on emotions. But we can fortify the security by doing better.
All right, I think it's a fine place to leave it this morning. A big thanks to Victor Akinei, a public affairs analyst and, of course, entrepreneur, for joining Newspaper Headlines Review this morning. All right. Thank you for being a part of the show. Don't go anywhere. A big story will come up soon. And, of course, a point Aito is waiting. My name is Uluwayemi Adela. I'm saying thank you for joining the segment this morning. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB Van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Well, a very good morning to you and welcome to another segment tagged the big story on Daybreak Live on Dominion Television. I am Pat Aito. Our topic this morning is a practice deeply laced into the fabric of celebration, particularly in Nigeria and across parts of Africa. Cash spraying ban, culture versus law. Throwing money at parties, weddings, or funeral is a big part of how people celebrate, and it is called cash spraying, and it has been a tradition for a long time. Cash spraying symbolizes celebration, generosity, and joy. However, recently there has been ban on the practice, citing concerns over waste, public safety, and economic impact. Well, this conversation has fueled, controversies of should cultural traditions like cash spraying be preserved, or should a law take precedence to regulate and restrict the practice? What is the role of law in shaping cultural norms? Joining us to answer those pertinent questions is Sam Nwoko, a seasoned journalist and a deputy editor of one of the long-term serving dailies in Nigeria. He's going to join us via phone call this morning. I'm pretty sure Sam Nwoko is there. A very good morning to you, Sam. All right. As we await Sam Owoko, of course, you know, without, if you go to a party, if you don't spray money, some people will see it as you're not in control. But spraying money, we've seen a lot of people, I mean, going from one event to another, spraying money. Some even go as far as paying dollars. But then we've seen some people that have been arrested for doing that. We've seen the issue of Idris Okuneye, popularly known as Bobrisky. We've seen Cubana being arrested as well. But of course, some people are clamoring for why the arrests. This is a long practice in our society. But then, like I said, Sam Owoko, a seasoned journalist, is standing by on the phone to talk to us about this. Good morning, Sam. Hello, can you hear us? Hello, good morning. When the line is not connecting yet. Hello, good morning. Can you hear us? All right, we will return after this break. Stay with us.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
All right, welcome back. It's still Big Story on the program Daybreak Live on Dominion Television. Of course, like I said before, went on that break. We will be joined by Sam Owoko, a seasoned journalist and one of the deputy editors from the long-serving national dailies in Nigeria. A very good morning to you, Mr. Sam Owoko.
Very good morning to you, too. Good morning, dear viewers. Welcome to the Big Story.
And how are you this morning?
I am good. I thank God.
All
Yeah,
right,
off and running.
the topic before us this morning is cash spraying. I mean, cash spraying ban. We're looking at culture versus law, and like I said, cash spraying symbolizes celebration, generosity, and joy. However, recently there has been ban on the practice, citing concerns over waste, public safety, and economic impact. And while this has fueled controversies of should cultural traditions like cash spraying be preserved, or should the law take precedence to regulate and restrict the practice? And what is the role of the law in shaping cultural norms? But because of our time, we will just need to touch some of those questions for you this morning. So let me say, in your opinion, which one would you prefer? I mean, cash spraying or giving cash when celebrating?
Personally, I don't even like the idea of saying cash when celebrating. Maybe maybe it's the old school in me that speaking, but this has come a long way. However, okay, let me not say maybe old school. Maybe it's the poor man where be kind of thing, because those who
A
have
whole
it,
deputy editor, you can't be a poor man.
they say if you have it, flaunt it. If you have it, flaunt it.
Okay.
But hey, is it the best way to flaunt wealth? You can contribute to somebody's joy and happiness by doing it in some other way. I know that there are many ways, other ways through which you can support an event, and it's not by spraying cash and throwing it. In some places, you see them throw it in such ways that it diminishes the whole intent. You know that this has now bordered on arrogance, it has bordered on misdemeanor, it has bordered on disrespect and so on. So I personally, I don't like it, honestly. I don't like it.
Personally, you don't like it. Well, that is your own opinion. Some people prefer cash spraying, but what is the core cultural significance of cash spraying?
Now, for me, and from looking at it from cultural background,
okay,
the kind of money we spent before we came into the era of paper money is not the type of money you spray. In the olden days, when they used manila, you don't spray manila. In the olden days, when we had more coins and heavy exchange materials, even cowries, you never sprayed cowries in those days. You never sprayed manilas, which was common in the south and southeast. You never sprayed those. You didn't spray the coin. The old, they will call it ojoma. You never sprayed those because they were heavy. What you do is you arrange it in a bag and give it to the celebrant. That's what my grandparents told me. So when we now came to the era of paper money, I think it started from the Owambe. I don't know if the Owambe is M or N.
It's Owambe.
And Owambe began to, introduce some other kind of culture. I know culture is dynamic. I know culture is not static, and culture changes with time. However, I do not think it is a very good thing to do. The story of Nomuri Momo, those are some of the disadvantages of this thing. Somebody who sprays the money he intended to use to buy his merchandise the next day in error. So we have to be careful with this. Culturally, I don't think it is. That's how we started. But culture has evolved to getting to do that. And people are into designing more creative ways of money. Some people bring kind of buckets in which you can spray the money and so on. It happens. So I don't know. But I still personally do not believe it's the best way to show up.
Okay, that's the part of the culture now. Well, recently, we've seen people being arrested for disrespecting Naira. And what are your thoughts on the recent ban on cash spraying at social events?
Well, that suits me because, coming from the angle where I'm coming from, it suits me perfectly. Banning of it, fine. In fact, it is the culture of spraying that has made us not to see new naira notes over the counter, across the counter. When you go to banks, you need to be connected to be able to get new naira notes. It's only on rare occasions that we go to ATMs and the machine will dispense new naira notes. If you need new naira notes, you and I know that what you do is you begin to look for somebody who is going to the bank and you say, please help me tell your friend in the bank to help you get new naira notes. Whereas these new naira notes are sold on the street. So the ban is fits me very well. And I think it's also one of the ways through which we can, get ourselves back from the brink of.
All right, so let's quickly look at. Hello, Sam, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm with you. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, let's quickly look at, are there any potential negative consequences of cash spraying that might justify regulating or banning the practice?
Let me quickly take two. One is the fact that we are disrespecting our common heritage, which is the naira, our currency. That disrespect for me, I don't feel like that. I've been to ceremonies where after the ceremony, they will now, after the dance of maybe couples in a wedding or a celebrant, they will use groom to be sitting and stuffing money in a bag and so on. It's not very healthy. That is one. Then two is the security implications. There are many people who could be there who are criminally minded, who could be kidnappers or some form of, criminals, robbers and so on. Who will say, okay, this is the man that was paying plenty money, he must be very rich, and you go and relay him on the road, or you face him and so on. So those things can, nurture criminality. Those things can nurture robbery, can nurture kidnapping. So I don't think the law is not fair on that. I think the law is okay because it will help in regulating how people behave in the public space with the huge amount of money they carry with them. It will also discourage the sale of the naira on the street. The new naira notes that are sold nearly every day, every year, where do they come from? I think these are part of the things that should be done as a way of creating further barricades for this kind of behavior among our people.
All right, I know you are a journalist, but let's look at the legal aspect of our laws and regulations on cash spraying. And of course, what are the implications for this enforcement?
The implications are not things we can think very long to get. First of all, they prescribe jail term for the man, the popular man, or is it woman now who went to jail for that. Many of us thought he was going to pay a fine, but they didn't give him. Let me say him. I'm talking about Bobrisky now.
Yes.
They didn't give him any option of fine, which is strange. But that chiefly paid money was invited by the EFCC or the other regulatory bodies, and they did not do anything about it. So the law itself has to be firm. And yes, the law is firm, but law enforcement to regulate this character, this attitude, this cultural revolution should be firm. There should be no sacred cow in it. I remember very well that the Folawiyo family was dragged on the social media for this because they also paid money and, So what about the burial of Obi Kubana's mother, in which you have all the people who are supposed to be enforcing laws, also in the place where money was bastardized the way they did it. So I think in some cases we have to also know that those who are to enforce the laws are supposed to be upright in their own rights to be able to enforce the law. So not being a lawyer, I cannot speak on the nitty-gritty of the law, but I can only talk generally around the law that to the effect that the law has to be followed to the letter. What is law for A should be law for B and C and D and everybody. Law is law. It does not exempt anybody. But from the look of things, you can see that all animals are equal, but some are more equal than the others.
All right, Sam, you spoke about being firm with the law. And now, how do you think the governments can balance the need to regulate public events with the need to respect cultural traditions?
Now, respecting cultural tradition is not until you pay money at parties. I remember growing up to know that civil servants don't even get to be mentioned when they were at events. Well, if you have somebody from your family who is a civil servant, you just call his name, you will not call his office. You will not say he is this or that. That is a sign of respect for the office which you occupy. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
Yes, that is a respect for the office you occupy. Then secondly, when we consider what we have now, when people who are supposed to enforce the law, who are supposed to regulate, who are supposed to keep the law as the law, are actually the ones who even involve themselves in paying of money at parties, then the law cannot be anything. I've been at a place where a policeman in uniform, I saw it with my own very eyes, a policeman in uniform told me, he said that he had not heard somebody sing the cognomen, the oriki of his family so much. He had to go out of his way to go and give the musician money. He's an elderly musician. I don't want to mention names so that people won't change the
You don't need to mention name.
He did it in such a way that I fell in love with the policeman. You know what he did? He gathered the money he wanted to give him, put it in an envelope, and took it to the man. Yes, he did it by himself. He's a police officer, very senior. So he took it to the man in an envelope, very well organized and so on. I felt, yes, if everybody does it this well. But there, kings, whose cognomen, whose praises the musician was singing, they are stealing money into a bucket. You know, but the policeman does not do it. So we can do all this and use, yes, you are a public servant who knows what it means to respect the culture. You have respected the culture in a very decent way. And at the same time, you have appreciated somebody who is doing that cultural thing that ignited your fancy. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
So he was able to balance it. He did it so well that you know that, yes, this is a man who understands and respects his culture, and at the same time, he respects the naira and respects the law. So I loved what happened on that day. A policeman in uniform.
All right, Sam,
So
you
that's
said
an
something
example.
while you are trying to explain that. You said you made mention of someone that went out of his or her way to appreciate someone that was actually doing oriki for him or her. Okay, now what role community leaders and cultural organizations play in promoting responsible and safe celebration practices?
First, they have to understand that when you are in the midst of, in the Kenya Club, we say that in the midst of happiness, there is vital danger. In the Kenya Club, that is one of the commonest sayings. In the midst of happiness, you have to understand that the danger there is that if you handle money in ways you should not handle it, then you are breaking the law. You stand the risk of going to jail like Bobrisky did, or you face law enforcement agents. So it is very important for cultural organizations and cultural societies to educate themselves and also educate the people with whom they have interactions.
All right,
so
Sam. All right, Sam, before I let you
Yeah.
go this morning, a quick one. Do you believe the tradition of cash spraying will adapt or survive?
From the way it is going, it will take a very strong and maybe a leader who will not listen to people.
Who will not compromise?
Yes, a leader who will not compromise, a leader who may not be part of that kind of culture.
Okay.
To be able to enforce that kind of law. But if we don't have that, it will keep evolving and it will keep changing. Styles will be changing. Design, if you understand what I mean, manners through which people do it will be changing, and more innovative ways will be adopted.
All right, thank you so much, Sam Woko. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Sam Woko, for shedding so much light on this intriguing conflict between what we feel in our art to be our culture and what the law demands of us as citizens. As Nigeria navigates the complex intersection of cultural tradition and modern law, the debate over cash spraying bans serves as a microcosm for broader questions about identity, governance, and progress. Can cultural practices evolve to accommodate changing societal needs, or will the law ultimately dictate what is acceptable? One thing is certain, the outcome of this debate will have far-reaching implications for Nigeria's cultural landscape and the delicate balance between preserving heritage and embracing progress. Thank you so much for being part of the show this morning. Join us again tomorrow. But coming up next is Trend Watch. Stay tuned.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Rafa, welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us. This is Trend Watch. I'm glad to be back here. Pat Aito is still with me.
Very much here.
Yeah, so Pat, what do you have for us for Trend Watch?
Well, Trend Watch, we have this word coming from Bayo Ononuga. I mean, it said that human rights activist and Sarah Reporters publisher, that's Omoye Leshowore, has disclosed that presidential spokesperson Bayo Ononuga privately messaged him, urging him to delete a recent post in which he described President Bola Tinubu as a criminal. So Showore in a statement said that, titled "Triggered by my statement, presidential spokesperson Bayo Ononuga writes me to delete my post on Tinubu."
I think it's a serious one. Let me read out the tweet again. Omoye Leshowore said, "This criminal official part actually went to Brazil to state that there is no more corruption under his regime in Nigeria. What audacity to lie shamelessly." Initially, I think the federal government, through the DSS, went through Elon Musk, went through Meta to say, please help us delete this tweet because we know Showore is not going to listen to us. And of course, after deleting the tweet, they also wanted them to to deactivate his account.
Yeah.
And of course, Nigerians are saying, is that the right way to go about this matter? Because recently, Adeoju called Peter Obi a fraud, and Peter Obi took the matter to court. So Nigerians are saying, instead of trying to talk to Elon Musk and the likes to delete the tweet, why not take the matter to court?
And of course, I just feel like this is the government that will tell us that, oh, we are just open to everybody, criticize us, we love criticism, and we'll want to work on it. I mean, criticism, a good one, is better for us. Why would you go to another country and said, under your watch, there is no corruption? A lot of corrupt leaders under his watch. We have the issue of the NNPCL. I mean, the managing director talking about Bayo Ojulari. Till now, we've not heard. Mele Kyari is still there. There are so many.
Even the Emefiele case.
There are so many leaders under his this dispensation that we've not heard anything about them. It has been one. If you just want them to erase your corrupt issues or whatever issues you have with the federal government, just join APC. You are fine.
Your sins are forgiven. That was what one politician said.
You are fine. So why would you go as far as telling them to delete his tweets? It's fine. It is his own tweet. It is his own message. He's a journalist. So whatever it is, because he felt like, why would you just go to another country to say there is no more corruption? Do you know our rates?
1,500 something. Sometimes 1,600.
Do you understand? So you're now saying there's no corrupt.
Bayo Ojulari, not even
Mr. President, stop doing that.
Bayo Ojulari came out to say that, okay, the president was not talking about corruption generally. That he was talking about corruption in the area of foreign exchange. That you don't need to go to the CBN governor to train in forex, for instance. So it's an issue. I didn't even expect that Bayo, the same Bayo that I know that would normally throw jabs online, I mean, to several people, and of course they will reply him as well. So that's the system online. Would private chat Sowore to say, delete the tweet, because they know that ex-boss will not delete that tweet.
We won't. At least you are exposing your government, and that's why we have tweet. That's why we have social media, just to like, okay, this is what is happening in our country. Come and save us. From there, you see, we'll get our savior. From there, we'll get somebody that will come to be our messiah. And you just want us to just be pampering things that everything is fine in Nigeria. It's not.
Do you think sometimes Sowore, is a little bit extra with his comments sometimes? Really?
Extra.
All right, let's check the comments.
I don't want to say anything.
I get it.
I don't want to say anything. Well, we have Olufemi Ayodele saying that as far as the post is concerned, Sowore will succumb to neither force nor persuasion.
We know Sowore for that. He's not a baby activist. Do you know recently I saw pictures of Sowore with Abiola? That was in the 90s. So he's been doing this for long, before a lot of Nigerians were born.
See, I want to use this slang, Sakamaji. I won't fall for that, because some of them will tell you, oh, we're fighting. Let them give them one position like this, you'll forget. And that's the issue of former NLC boss. We're talking about Adams Oshiomhole now. Okay. You know how Adams Oshiomhole will go back and forth fighting, blah, blah, blah. When he got into that post, when he became a politician, do you hear anything from him?
So you are saying Sowore, but even change?
Sowore will change. He's not might.
Even if before he becomes a president, it's going to take a lot or a while in this country. Looking at a level of followership
platform will be given to him.
Definitely. But let's look out for other players.
Another one here, we have Jasper Aniet Louis saying this is one of the smart ways they could have communicated with him before running to X or an FB, that's Facebook, to delete its comment. Simple private calls and discussion would have sorted this issue long ago. Not everything is about power.
Honestly, I think that this person has a very good point. Instead of going through X, they could have actually reached out to him
first, like, no, we are in the country. Let's just put our country in a good spot, in a good light, so that we can have more investors than you sending a message to X and
I'm sure Bayo knows that Sowore will make this public, because Sowore, I don't think it's all that can keep secrets that much. He knows Sowore will definitely post.
Well, another one here, Emin saying that pretense They want to use it as an excuse to ban social media. Reasonable Nigerians know.
I think that's too far. No, this will not lead to Twitter ban season 2.
Like we had under late President, former President Muhammadu Buhari.
I don't think this will lead to Twitter ban.
And lastly, we have this one, Spellbinder.
Yeah.
Where were there any lies in the said posts? Why the request to delete it?
That's another point of argument. And of course, I think it's a fine place to leave it this morning. Nigerians, have said what they want to see. And of course, people will keep talking about it. But I don't see Shore deleting the post. I mean, that's
he's not deleting it. He wants to be relevant. So let's see how far it goes.
Okay. It's a fine place to leave it this morning. Thank you for being a part of the show. And of course, do well to join us tomorrow, same time, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. We promise to bring you more interesting stories to talk about. My name is Oluwayemi Adelauko. I'm saying stay safe this morning.
Well, my name is Pat Aito, saying have a winning Wednesday. Bye for now.